Hey guys, welcome back to Sunny Healing Intuition's Journey of Sacred Expansion. Thank you all so much for joining. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. If you're looking to learn about how to heal your triggers, your traumas, learn about them, welcome. This is for you. This is my gift to the world, and hopefully I can reach far and beyond to help everyone. We don't all have the tools that we need in order to heal these aspects of ourselves, so I'm trying to break it down in this series. So again, welcome if you're returning as well. I love you all so much. So today we're going to learn about aligning with your higher self. Now, some people get confused about what the higher self is. Some people think that it's a destination to get to, but it's really not. The higher self is your higher aspect of your soul that's guiding you through this human experience. This is where you get your intuition. This is where you get your guidance from source. This is kind of like where the funnel is of our crown chakra that goes up to source of all that is. This could be your God, your higher power, however you want to name it. I call it source. So we're trying to align with that higher aspect so we can be open to the intuition, to trust the intuition that comes through, to make better choices for ourselves that are more aligned with our goals and desires. So that's really key here. Now, the very start of this, the first step is recognizing patterns, and that's what we're going to go over today. So how to recognize these patterns is very vital to opening up to the guidance. It kind of shuts off the ego mind a little bit more, and this takes practice. It's not something that you just do and it works right away. You have to actually consciously work on this daily. You have to make it a practice in order to accomplish a more quiet, peaceful mindset where you can hear the intuition. A lot of times, we get the guidance, but we don't trust it. We instantly think, oh, well, I'm not good enough for that. Or, oh, that's never going to work. That's actually turning away from the intuition that is telling you where they want to guide you. Your spirit team, your higher self, your divine aspect is what I call higher self. So this is how we're going to start to recognize the thought patterns. So you want to become the observer. Don't get caught up. Just observe the thought that comes through and try to see, ask yourself, what kind of thought is this? If it's a positive thought, that's great. Maybe you should lead down that way and follow that, or, dive into that and let that kind of take you off into maybe some creation that you want to, go towards, or something you want to learn about. If it's a negative thought, this is where we can start to break down how we can shut down those type of thoughts. Okay, this is recognizing that thought pattern. These are limited beliefs that we're conditioned with from society, from our upbringing. This could be teachers, parents, grandparents, whoever kind of made you feel limited on what you're able to do. Because when we're born, we're actually closer to source and to the higher dimensions, but as we are raised and grown up and basically taught certain things, or that we shouldn't do certain things, it's not always aligned with us and what we're actually able and capable of doing. Now, after you have figured out what kind of thought it is and you've noticed that it's negative, this is helping you to identify triggers. That's technically what this is. Ego mind is really there to protect you, but it can be overprotective, and stop you from doing things that you should be doing. So identifying triggers is really about what type of people, situations, or places are triggering these negative or unhelpful patterns. As you can recognize where you feel uncomfortable, who you feel uncomfortable around, or what situation makes you feel uncomfortable in any way or shape or form. This is going to help you to narrow this down so you can start avoiding that or get rid of it altogether. Maybe it's not something that you can just get rid of, you kind of have to start taking a step back, setting boundaries if it's a person. But it really does help to journal. Journaling is so key in spiritual practices. I journal every day. I have a journal that I started at the beginning of the year, and I'm already like most of the way through. I put bookmarks with sticky notes, and I just kind of journal thoughts that come through. If it's negative, I write it down, and then I kind of try to break it down, recognize it. And, it also helps when you do get those positive thoughts, those intuitive hits, because maybe you're not sure about it, right? So you write it down and you date it, you see it, then it happens again. And then you're able to see that and you're like, oh yeah, okay. Or maybe it comes into fruition and you doubted it. That's evidence in your journal telling you that you're getting intuitive hits and to trust it. It's usually the first thought when you ask a question of something in your mind. So let's say like I ask my higher self, hey, is it a good idea to purchase this for myself? Would this be beneficial if I purchase this? And it says yes. That's the first thought. But if there's a no and I'm like, but I really kind of want it, I'm going to listen to that no most of the time. It's like I said, this is a practice. So, it's not going to happen right away. And sometimes we do fight the intuition that comes in, no matter how long you've been practicing this. But it's really key to just listen to the very first thought. That's going to be your intuition, your higher self, or your spirit guides telling you it's either a good or a bad idea, right? So once you journal these down, it's going to help you to recognize these triggers and patterns to eliminate what is not serving you. Now, after that negative thought comes up, you can name this pattern, okay? So you can name it inner critic if you're overly critical of yourself. Maybe you're looking in the mirror and you've got this new outfit that you're really excited about, but then you're like, you instantly start thinking about, oh, it doesn't look good on me, or I don't know if what that person's gonna think, or, we start thinking of these thoughts, but they're conditioned thoughts. They're not really actually happening, and it's not actually true. You can be the catastrophizer, so you could be somebody who wants to go out and do something with someone, but you had this one bad experience when you were out with them before, and you're like, oh my god, it's not going to be a good time, or whatever situation comes up, you always think the worst case scenario. You can name that as like I'm the catastrophizer. Sorry, that word is always really hard for me to say. I don't even know why I used it on these notes. But then here's me. You can label perfectionist. So, I'm always wanting everything to be perfect. I'm always trying to control things at work. My first video that I did was the inner child healing, and there was so much information I wanted to cover, and I didn't want to miss anything, that I wrote everything down, and then I read from it. And I was sitting there mostly looking at the computer screen and like just kind of talking like this, the whole time. Whereas this time I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put bullet points of what I want to hit, and I'm just going to be more authentic and let everything flow. So that was me learning from that. Okay. Once you name them, it's going to help you to detach from them a little bit. And it'll happen over time. You just have to give yourself the time and grace in order to allow this to unfold naturally. Don't be too hard on yourself. Let go of judgment. Just observe. That's all you're doing, is being the observer here, okay? Now the next part is allowing these thoughts to flow. We do not want to stuff them down. As I mentioned in the inner child healing, as we stuff these feelings down, they get caught up in our root chakra and they are buried down there, and they are hard to get back up to release them out. So you're allowing the thought to flow. You're just observing it. so it can pass through you. That's all these thoughts are thoughts. They're thoughts that are coming from these limited belief systems that you were conditioned to in your upbringing that are not true, okay? And sometimes it's the ego mind that's trying to protect us again. So we just have to remember that and be cautious of it. And it is hard at first to do that. It took me probably a couple of years to even, actually, no, it probably took me about a good 3.5 years to really be mindful of my thoughts. And as I've done this, I've become a more positive person. I don't go on the news or social media as much anymore. I'm able to trust my intuition and allow the guidance to flow. And actually, I have so many signs and synchronicities that come to me by just seeing a bird fly by or hearing just one word, you know, or seeing angel numbers. Okay, those are signs. But don't resist the thoughts that are flowing to you, through you. Resisting them makes them stronger, but we want to recognize them and then let them go so we can identify the pattern to stop it from happening. That's all we're doing, okay? So you can do that. It's very easy once you've practiced it. This mindful practice is really good with breath work. Breath work really helps the energy to flow through our bodies and to quiet our mind because we're focusing on our breath. This is allowing us to be in our heart center. And this is where we really want to be when we're creating decisions, when we're talking to other people, when we're talking to ourselves. I talk to myself all the time, I'm not going to lie. Half the time I'm really talking out loud to spirit or the universe so I can manifest what I want to happen, because it really does happen that fast if you really think about it. When you're thinking of worst case scenarios and you say something negative, most often than not, it's going to happen, unfortunately. We don't want that to happen, okay? So don't limit yourself. You're the one that's doing it. I'm not going to lie. So breath work can help to observe the thoughts when they arise, and it helps you to not get carried away with these thoughts when they come up, okay? Notice the thought and then redirect your attention, okay? Redirect it to your breath. That's all you have to do. Redirect it to your breath. Don't allow yourself to get caught up, but don't resist the thought either, okay? This is going to train your mind to become less reactive to these thoughts. Because when you're manifesting, let's say, it's the emotions behind the thoughts that are creating these manifestations to come to fruition. Because what we're manifesting, or when we're manifesting, we want to align our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. And as soon as those three are aligned, that's what's going to manifest. So that's why this is so important to work on. We want to create a positive mindset and also allow ourselves to manifest positive outcomes in our life. And the only way we can do that is changing our mindset. That's going to help us to change our emotions to a more positive way. And it is doable. Anyone can do this. I really promise you that. I was a doom and gloom person. I used to complain about everything. But as we're complaining, we're creating more of that. As I complain about pain, I'm creating more pain and suffering for myself. That's how it works, unfortunately. Now, the next step is acceptance. Acceptance is key. Accept that you will have negative thoughts. I still have negative thoughts. I just notice them faster and I'm able to redirect them into a positive way. As a negative thought comes up, think of 3 positive things right away. You know, you should be able to do that. It could be anything. I love pizza. I love to go out and have fun. You know, just whatever it is, just something positive. That will get you away from that negative thought once you've noticed it. So everyone gets these negative thoughts. Don't get hard on yourself when they come up. And don't get upset if they do keep happening while you're doing this practice. Again, this is a practice. This is not something that's going to happen overnight, okay? So the goal is to eliminate the goal is not to eliminate negative thoughts entirely, but to change your relationship with them. That's what we're working on. This is going to help you to shift to a more positive mindset. You're challenging negative thoughts. Say, is this really true, or am I making this up? What evidence is supporting this thought? If there's no evidence that's supporting the thought, it's not your thought. It's the ego trying to protect you and trying to limit you. And often negative thoughts are based on assumptions rather than actual facts. You're thinking the worst case scenario when really nothing's happened to support that. What if something really good happens or positive happens out of it? Yes, that's something we don't think about. It's so easy for us to get caught up in the negativity. Now, the next thing we want to do is reframe these negative thoughts. Rephrase the negative thoughts in that positive way I mentioned. So that one negative thought, change it into 3 positive thoughts. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes, I promise you. Another thing that's going to help you to allow yourself to shift into a more positive mindset and to manifest more things that you want, more positive things into your life is to practice gratitude. Gratitude is super, super important. I write down things that I'm grateful for in my journal every morning. That helps me to start my day in a more positive way. I also say what I want to happen in that day. So I'll ask my higher self, please lead me and guide me in the direction of my highest good and my highest contribution. You know, let me be of service to others and to myself. Allow me to hold compassion and calm and presence for myself and for others. You know, I have to do this often being a manager, especially in a remote setting. So make a habit of focusing on things that you're grateful for, and journaling really does make things concrete. Not only can you go back and look at these things, but you can also see the evidence that's supporting these positive things that are happening once you do this practice and you get a lot better at it. Positive affirmations are huge. I say so many positive affirmations in the morning while I'm making my coffee, making my tea, getting breakfast ready, you know, brushing my teeth and washing my face for the morning. I love positive affirmations. The thing is they're going to be really silly at first. Like, it's going to feel kind of silly to do them because you're speaking these out loud, and if you're not used to saying things positive to yourself, it's going to feel kind of weird. I'm not going to lie. There's this lady that I listen to on Spotify. I think she's on all music platforms. It was Habits of a Goddess. And she has so many different ones for different things like self-acceptance, positive mindset, whatever you want. They also have positive affirmation videos on YouTube or wherever you're looking. You can even just search them on Google. But positive affirmations are super helpful. I am capable. This really helps you to believe in yourself. I have what it takes to succeed is something that I remind myself every morning. Today is going to be the best day ever is really what's going to help you to bring in a very positive day. Not everything's going to go your way, but that's where you can start looking at those negative thoughts or these things that are happening to recognize them, see what's going on, be the observer, and maybe journal it down if you want. So that way you can kind of get these thoughts out and then recognize what type of thought it is, reframe that thought into a more positive way, and then maybe show some gratitude of being able to do that. That's huge. That's going to help you along the way. Visualization is really great too. Imagine yourself achieving your goals and living the life you desire. This really is super powerful. It is so powerful, especially with manifestation. You want to feel it, see it, sense it, touch it, taste it, and it's really going to help bring that into fruition. I'm telling you, this is how easy manifestation is, but we have to get to this positive mindset in order to do this. So just allow this to motivate you to take action needed to meet goals. I promise you, if you start this practice and you're just mindful of it and try to remember to do it every day, you're really going to help yourself. You really are. So, in conclusion, we're just going to say to be patient. Just know that this takes time. This is, if you're really dedicated to yourself and creating a more positive life for yourself, you will continue this practice. Don't be discouraged. This is a long game of mental health. Okay, mental health is to be taken seriously, especially in these times. It's really hard out there, and doing this will help you. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Be kind to yourself. Negative thoughts are a part of the human experience, okay? This is just something we do on the earthly realm. Everybody's got a different path in life, and not everybody can hold a positive mindset, but if they try and they practice, they can. But not everybody's willing to do that. Are you going to be willing? Treat yourself with compassion and understanding. And please seek help if you are struggling. You are not alone. You do not have to struggle alone. I am here. If you want to email me, my email is in the description box below. You can comment. I'm always replying to comments. I love hearing from you guys, and I love to connect with you. This is why I do this work. So just remember that this is a journey, not a destination. Be patient, persistent, and kind to yourself along the way. I love you guys so much. Until next week, take care.